Hey guys, my name's Nick. I am a co-founder at Dial Technologies, and today we have a video for you showing you how to set up Quo, formerly OpenPhone, with Attio. Let's dive into it. All right, so the first thing is just showing you this documentation, which is for the Attio integration. It will show you that it's basically syncs contacts. Here's the specific fields that it syncs. It only syncs one way from Attio to Quo. So if you update information in Quo, it's not going to update currently in Attio. And then it's also going to sync activity. So any of these items, it will actually create a note in Attio, which will show up in the record. So for example, if we click on this person, Wilton, and we go to activity, you'll see here, Quo will add a note and it'll show here, as well as notes will increment. And obviously they have to have an email address, or they have to have rather a phone number, so that way you can call them and or text them through Quo. So to get set up here, if we go into our workspace settings and we go into integrations, you'll see Attio is here. We'll connect with Attio. This is again going to do an OAuth flow. And so we're going to confirm this. And then once this is set up, you should see settings options to select which phone numbers you specifically want to use. So by default, we have these two selected. So this is the primary phone number that we're going to be using. And if we go to this primary phone number, our inbox currently is cleared, and we're going to go back into Attio. And what you'll see when you have this installed in Attio is if you go to the apps and integrations and we look up Quo, you'll see that we have this installed, and we'll see that we have a connection here. So you'll see that I, enabled this once and then removed it and then also re-enabled it for this video. So we've got that installed. And if I go back to this specific list, I want to call attention to this list. This is the sales call list. And so this is just kind of creating a real life example. So we've got a sales calls list. Everyone here on this list needs to be called. So let's say everyone has this to call status. And what we can actually do is we can click into a record, and we have this ability here to call in Quo. And if I click on call in Quo, it's actually going to call this person. So what I want to show you before I do that is this workflow that we built. And so this is receiving a webhook. Again, how do you set up a webhook? If you go into your settings, developers, webhooks, you can configure a webhook here with specific events. So in this case, we have a webhook for note created. And what we're doing is receiving the webhook. We are parsing the JSON webhook. So we're specifically getting out the note ID, the parent record ID, and the parent object ID. And we're storing these, as well as actor ID, storing these in these variables to be used later. We're filtering. The reason that we're doing this filter is because we want to make sure that the actor ID is our Quo integration. And then we're looking for records. So we're trying to find that person record that we are essentially calling, or that Quo added the note to. If we found the record, then we will look for the matching list entries. And so we're looking for the person record, and we're going to then update that list record. And we are going to change the status to called for that record. So this is the workflow. And so we've already run it a couple times. Discard changes. There's nothing that I should have changed there. So now we're going to jump back over into our list. Again, these are all to call. We will select on Wilton. We will click here, call in Quo. This will redirect me. So that way I can then go open Quo. This will open the Quo desktop app and initiate the call. So I'm just clicking, start call. It's calling, and I'm going to just decline the call and send it to voicemail. So I'm going to hang up, and now I'm going to go back into Attio, and you will see now that there is a call for Quo. And if I go to activity, you'll see Quo added this note here. And the reason it's twice is because I have two integrations set up, so I should have removed one. But this note got added and the workflow should have run. So if I go back to workflows, there's two runs. So the last two runs is, essentially what ran. But more importantly, if I go to the sales call list, you'll see that Wilton Gleason has now been moved to called. And that is because we have effectively called them. So you can go in and you can change the workflow, but the point of this is to show the integration between Quo and Attio. The workflow can obviously be customized to filter certain events or specific keywords, things like that. But we wanted to give you a real life example of what the Quo integration could do and how you could take that a step further and automatically update some of the data in Attio. Quick video for you guys today. Hopefully you found this educational. If you did find this educational or valuable, please leave a like and a subscribe, because we're going to be posting more workflow videos and more integration videos as we can get through them and as more are released. If you have any suggestions on video topics that we should cover, please leave those down in the comments below. And also you can always say hello down in the comments below. Until next time, cheers.